I have taken 2 different antidepressants in the past year, and I just want to talk about the 2 that I've taken, what they did to me, how they affected me, what I think about them, and just kind of help you with your decision on if you should consider taking antidepressants or if you should try something else. And just to give you like quick insight into my background, I have suffered from depression and slight anxiety for as long as I can remember, even though when I was younger I did not know that that's what it was. And I also currently work for a mental health company, so everything that I will be talking about, it's based on my personal experience and things that I have learned as a coordinator for the mental health company that I work for. Hey guys, my name is Ish. Please go ahead and click that subscribe button. This channel is all about mental health, depression, anxiety, all that good stuff. I personally struggle with both, and I have since probably high school, even though I didn't know that that's what it was back then. But today what I really want to talk about is antidepressants. So if you are considering taking antidepressants, or you don't know what to do, like you're at a point where your depression is just eating you alive and you just need something, antidepressants may be an option for you. So I want to tell you the 2 that I've taken and the side effects I experienced and things like that. So I started my healing process with an online company called Cerebral. And I didn't start with therapy because they didn't have any who accepted my insurance. So I decided to just go ahead and try antidepressants. The first one that I tried was Lexapro, and I will drop the off-brand name right here so you can see. But I had mixed feelings about that one. A lot of people said that it made them numb, and I actually can agree with that to an extent. I'm really trying to think of a word that accurately describes how it made me feel. Like, I guess lazy is the word to say. Like, I was so unmotivated. Like, I didn't want to do anything. And I work out, so me not working out for 3 months, I probably worked out 3 times in the whole 3 months that I was on that medication, and that's not normal for me. And I started gaining weight, which actually is one of the things that triggers my depression, is being overweight. So that wasn't good. I also noticed that I could not cry physically, could not cry. During that time, my cousin was murdered, and I could not cry. I just couldn't. And I'm not gonna say that I had a problem with not being able to cry. It was actually okay with me, because my whole life I have been the type of person who just feels everything. Overthinker, always feeling stuff, and I felt good to have a break from that. When I first started that medication, I remember I felt it kick in within like 2 hours, and the way I knew that it was working was my mind was blank. I have never in my life had a blank mind. I'm always thinking about something. So when I noticed that there was literally nothing on my mind, I was like, wow, this is working. So some of the side effects that I experienced, I did have trouble sleeping. For the first 3 nights, I was in that state where I was aware of everything that was going on around me, but time was still passing by like I was asleep, but I didn't feel sleep. Like, I felt like I was just laying there. So I didn't get into a deep sleep. I didn't like that, but it only lasted for 3 days. Something else I experienced was very, very low sex drive. I didn't quite like that. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to know more about that, you can reach out to me and I will definitely tell you. And then the other thing that I noticed and I hated was that I felt very tired during the entire 3 months that I was on it. And what I mean by tired is I start work at 9. I could not wake up until 10. I work from home, but it was so hard to wake up. And I hated that. Like, I felt so lazy and unproductive. Like, I physically could not wake myself up before then. And if I did wake up, I felt extremely exhausted, even though I was sleeping for 8 to 10 hours. So that was another thing that I couldn't deal with. So ultimately I decided to discontinue taking that medication. I actually quit cold turkey. I don't recommend you do that, but being that I was only on it for 3 months, I wasn't on it long enough for it to cause any major withdrawal symptoms. I did notice some withdrawal symptoms, but it wasn't nothing that I couldn't deal with. It wasn't pain or anything like that, just like feeling weird. I can't really explain it. So yeah, I decided that Lexapro was not for me. The dosage I was on, I started off at 5 milligrams and then I bumped up to 10 on month 2. But yeah, I ended up stopping. I wasn't on any antidepressants for a few months after that. But then recently I decided, I'm going to try another one because things had gotten really bad. And also discovered that I have an eating disorder because, as I told you, being overweight is one of the things that contributes to my depression. So when I gain weight, I get sad. And then being sad from being overweight, it leads to me eating unhealthily. And I'm like a emotional eater. I binge eat, but then I'll also try to do extreme diets. I'll try fasting and restricting my calories to 800 or below that a day. So because of that, my doctor put me on Prozac, which is also called, I think the off-brand name is fluoxetine. And I took that for 4 days. That's it. The first 4 days, like, I didn't notice anything. Like, nothing like how I felt with the Lexapro, where I felt it within the first 2 hours. That didn't happen. But on night 4, that's when I started noticing the medicine kick in because I couldn't sleep. When I would close my eyes, my mind was just racing and spinning. Like, I was almost like being drunk, but I wasn't drunk. But like when your mind spins when you're drunk and you want to go to sleep, and you close your eyes and it's just spinning and so many thoughts are going through your head. That's how I was. So I was really scared to fall asleep because there was just so much going on in my head. And then when I did fall asleep, I jumped out of my sleep. And I'm like, what the heck? What? I didn't like that. It was scary to me. Just a scary situation. And that was when I just decided I'm not doing this because I don't want to even risk having another night like this. I didn't go to sleep that night until 5:30 in the morning. And then I had to wake up at 8 because I had to work at 9. And honestly though, I did not feel like exhausted the next day, which was really good. But I don't like missing out on sleep. I'm sorry. Even with my depression, one thing I've never had trouble with was falling asleep, and I just don't plan on making that a thing. So I just stopped taking it, and I still haven't even told my doctor that. But yeah. So yeah, I've taken again Lexapro and Prozac. I am not knocking them. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying that they won't help you, but that's what happened to me, and I didn't like it. It just wasn't for me, and I knew from the beginning that I never wanted to be dependent on medication to get over my depression. So after what happened with the Prozac, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just gonna start therapy for real this time and go from there. And I mean, I'm not against trying medication again in the future, but right now that's not what I want to be on. I don't want to. So don't take my experience and think that's automatically gonna happen to you. Antidepressants affect people in many different ways. We are all different. Our body chemistry is different. So that may happen to you, it may not. But I encourage you, if you are dealing with depression, talk to your doctor. Consider antidepressants. Even if you try them and decide it doesn't work for you, you don't have to keep taking them. Or if you decide that this one doesn't work, you can try a different one. But just talk to your doctor. Don't just keep suffering, because I mean, it doesn't feel good. You know it doesn't feel good. So talk to your doctor. If you are considering antidepressants, I recommend that you at least give them a try before you rule them out. So I just want to say thank you for listening if you made it this far. Mental health is so important to me because I deal with it myself. So if sharing a small experience of mine will help somebody, then that's what I'm going to do. If you have any questions about Lexapro or Prozac or just antidepressants in general, or depression or anxiety, you are more than welcome to reach out to me on Instagram or drop a comment below, and I will be happy to talk with you. Please go ahead and click that button to subscribe again if you have not, and catch me in the next video. Bye.